So hello everyone again. I hope you all well. Welcome to our event Gemma Day Extended. Gemma Day Extended is a community counterpart to Gemma Developer Day, an event that was organized by Google on March 7 this year. So we are here to discuss about Gemma. And yeah, so um, we are many speaker today, and we will begin by the keynote with Ezekias Bokove. So please, Ezekias, go ahead.
Hello everyone, I hope you're well. So, welcome to the Gemma J extension. So, I hope you are well. So this day is organized by TensorFlow user group Abidjan and TensorFlow user group Bassam. So thank you, Louis, for the organization. So the subject for today is Gemma, and so now if you check the actuality, you will see a lot people talk about AI. So it is actuality now, AI, and the AI that Google built is Gemini, and so people are in the Google community know. So Google is a big company, like to open your model for the community to help the developer to build the, the, the best product with open. And so this is the logical of Google company. And now Google um, start to open your model, your AI model for the community. And so this model is Gemma. So Gemma is open model. So Google give to the developer community to help you to build a good product to help your local population in African country. So I think so. All people is there is all people are there is have African people. I don't know if you have European people, but I think it is better. Is was good for us if we can use this model to build the application of the services to help the local population in African country. So Jima is a family of lightweight state of the art open model built from the same research and technology used to create the Gemini model. So developed it by Google DeepMind and other teams across Google. Gemma is inspired by Gemini, and the name reflects the Latin Gemma, meaning precious stone, precious stone. And so Gemma is built for the open community of developers and researchers powering AI innovation. So you can start working with Gemma today. So this is the subject of this day. So the subject of the day is help people to start to work with Gemma. And if you want to do this, you can use the resources Google put for you. So you can have access in Kaggle for free collabs. So Kaggle is a free TS for collab notebook. And if you start the first time to use Google Cloud, so you have 30, you have free 100 $300 credit if you have a if you use the first time Google Cloud, and you can use this credit um, to test the Google AI product. And if you are a researcher, you can also apply for Google Cloud credit of up to a collective $500,000 to accelerate your project. So now I will take the place at Amelia, so to start to talk about what is Gemma and uh, what you can start with Gemma. So Amel, you can take um, the place if you are ready.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for the keynote, and welcome everyone to this session again. My name is Armel Yara, and I am lead of TFUG Abidjan. That is a error on the slide. I see TFUG Bassam. But feel free to ask any question in the chat. And my session is very easy to understand because I already write a blog article, and that is what I show you about my presentation. That is very simple. I give you the link of my article on Medium. So uh, this way you can follow my presentation with this link. So let me share my screen. Um,
Yeah, please go ahead.
okay. Uh, take this. Okay. And this session we'll see how to get started with um with Gemma. That's a very I already made this this session by writing a blog articles on that, and just my presentation. We don't read the whole articles, just the main part of article according my presentation title. How to start get starting with Gemma. So Gemma is the new live state of the art open models of Google. Okay, on February 21, Google released Gemma. Okay, and that is a new family of LLMS, large long model from Google. So you have many steps to start with Gemma. When you have a new developer, something like that. Okay, I want to start with Eva. You use Keras 3.0. Um, for records, Keras 3 version Keras 3.0 versions works with true framework in backgrounds. You can run any model with Keras, with TensorFlow, JAX, maybe PyTorch in background. So you need only to write one code, okay, and you have your framework, your favorite framework in background. So just why. And that is on this presentation. You can build some model you want to generate a response using prompts. That is like you use ChatGPT, maybe Gemini, Copilots. That is what we do in this session. Let's go. First of all, you need to create an account on Google, on Kaggle. sorry, on Kaggle, and request access to Gemma. That is a Gemma cards. I give you the link to access on Gemma LLS model on Kaggle. Let me check. I put it in the chat. That's right. Okay, this is the first step to use Gemma. You need to ask access to Gemma on the Kaggle, and the link is now in the chat. You can use it and request access to Gemma. That is allow you to start how to use Gemma on your model. And after that, you have to consent of the license of Gemma and access granted with Gemma Kaggle. So you can't access to Gemma model without a Kaggle account. No, so you need to create a Kaggle account. After that, you need to create a token to use this in your Google Colab, because after that in the next conversation you use Colab to train to create and to train our model. So you need to create a new token on Kaggle. That is a second step. Okay, to create a Kaggle a token on Kaggle, that is a very easy. So you go on your account, on a profile photo, and top right, in option choose setting, scroll API and click on create new token, as you can see on this on this screen. After that, a JSON file will be downloaded. You use content, you like this. Okay, so don't use this because is not true. That is a fake. That is a for example. So your JSON your JSON content looks like username, that is a value, and a key that is represents like this. And after you set Kaggle configuration to access to Gemma model, we can go on your Colab Jupyter notebook and to start to build your model. That is very, very simple. So I'm sure you have my Colab. Soumis la faire, Google Colab. And there you start. Yes. Okay. Let me few second. Okay, nice one. Okay. Okay, as you can see in my screen, that is a notebook interface. Um, Someone here know notebook interface? Someone had already worked on Colab, Google Colab interface? Nobody? No one? Oh, okay. That is how you use the Kaggle key and the Kaggle username you download already on from Kaggle. You use in Colab. You have on the left side, you have a key, a logo keys, and they use when you click on the logo keys, you will see Kaggle key and Kaggle username. Okay, and enter the value of different username and key in the right place. Someone have a question? Um,
I think no.
okay, let's go. And this parts from new feature of a Google Colab is about to protect the credential of a different API when you use to build something on Kaggle to avoid some TF to take our credentials. So you need to hide different credential API, different credentials. So that is a new feature on Google Colab. After that, we set of the API credential we use to create our model. So come back on my presentation. Yes, you import different packages as a Keras and Keras NLP. And as I said earlier, I said you can use Keras now with different framework in background. Here for my session, I choose TensorFlow because I work most with TensorFlow most than JAX and PyTorch. So if you prefer JAX or PyTorch, just change the TensorFlow by JAX or Torch, and you can try it. After that, we load our Gemma model and display its characteristic. That is a very simple. That's you can see that when you use Gemma from you have access to Gemma on Kaggle. Now you can download this model on the our collab. That is a huge Gemma and Keras NLP models, Gemma causal LLMs from Progress. So you can see the summary of our model. That's right. Okay. And after that, you can generate a text with the model we just download from Gemma. So you can ask what is a DNA and it generate response for us. As you can see, when I said I ask to Gemma what is a DNA, it show me a response from my prompt. That's a molecular that is made from 4 different type of molecules, like we can see. So that is the way to get started with Gemma and Keras, especially Keras NLP and the last version of Keras, that is a Keras 3.0. Okay, I think my presentation is over. Okay, now as you can see, it's possible to create a machine learning model based on LLMs like here, Gemma. So Gemma thanks to Keras, we support true backends, TensorFlow, JAX, and PyTorch. You can use this process, this model with different backgrounds, backends like JAX or PyTorch. In this session, I choose TensorFlow because um, I'm very I'm very happy to use TensorFlow and most use TensorFlow than JAX and PyTorch. Okay, so that is my presentation. I want to start with Gemma and Keras NLP. And if you want more information, you can read my blog articles. I put this link in the chat. You can retrieve it, and now you can read my articles. So that is my presentation, and thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Amel, for your presentation. So now we're moving with another speaker.
You have no question before?
Yes, if someone has question.
Link of articles. That's right. Uh, I
Hello?
think. Hello.
Sorry. Oh, I'm supposed to raise my hand before asking the question. I just forget. Please, I'm sorry.
Okay. No problem.
Okay. So my name is Victor. Um, the question I want to ask, does Gemma have like Flutter support for now?
Mm.
Is it
Your question is about Flutter support, Gemma support Flutter.
yes. Is there an SDK?
Mm, right now, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Luis, Gemma support is supported by Flutter SDK?
No, no.
No,
Not yet. Okay.
not yet.
Okay.
I think Gemma use Curious NLP
So,
and maybe use Gemini on Vertex AI. Yes, Ezekias, if you want to respond.
so I think if you have
Okay.
use case and you want to use the Gemma, you can just build your services. You use Gemma and you expose your services with API, and you can use in your application if
Oh,
you
wow,
want.
wow, wow. That's a nice idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
nice idea. But the problem I'll most likely have is trying to customize Gma to my own use case. Yeah. Well, I
Mm,
think I think that is a thing. I think is good. So yeah, I understand.
that's
I
right.
understand. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah.
Any question, please? Mm. Yes, please, Victor, go ahead.
Hello, everybody. My name is Victor Chukwu Asuko, from Nigeria. I'm actually excited to hear. So, my question is, I just want to talk about deployment of Gemma. This is for how can we go about deploying it after building what we want to do?
Please, Victor, we
Okay.
don't understand you very well. Can you repeat your question, please?
Okay, my question is, after let's say after building with Gemma model, how can we deploy it or deploy it to server side, like so that other people or other applications can use it?
Mm. I don't know if in that session you have a speaker to talk about that, but I think let me check. Okay, I think the speaker after me we talk about that responsible area development with a text area and Gemini. I think um just um just a few response. You can deploy it in Vertex AI. You can use Google Cloud Platform to deploy your model and use it has API
Yeah,
to build or to deploy on mobile web application or use case. I think. But the next speaker we talk about that.
yeah, yeah.
You are welcome. Okay.
Okay, so let's move uh, with Brian.
Hi everyone.
Hi, welcome, Brian. Yeah, you can go ahead. So if someone has any question, drop in the chat, please.
Okay. You can hear me now, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sure. I don't know why my screen is misbehaving, but just give me a minute. But yeah, I think it should be back now. As I do that, hope everyone is doing great. It's currently 8:26 p.m. here in Kenya. I don't know. I'm sure you have different time zones in the call. I just want to say thank you for joining the call and making time to listening to us. It's really so nice to see like folks from India, folks from Nigeria. We also have folks from Kenya in the call. It's so amazing to see all of you here, brought together by Gemini. So yeah, I think my screen should be up in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes. So while my screen loads up, my talk is more of we'll be talking about responsible AI. So as much as we have like amazing tools and amazing products like Gemini to build with as developers, we also need to look at the aspect of building boldly and responsibly. And this is a phrase that I use that was used by Sundar Pichai when he was giving his IO keynote last year. I don't know what the keynote will look like this year, but we are all psyched up for it. So as we work towards building boldly and responsibly with all the tools that have been provided by the Google team and the Google AI team, we also are supposed to look on how are we going to build this product to solve the problems that we have always wanted to solve, because the goal is to help us solve problems that we have in what we are building as developers. So I'll be talking about responsible AI development with Vertex AI Gemini API, and how we can mitigate risks and ensure safety. So just a quick introduction. Uh, I am a GitHub Campus expert, and we are two GitHub Campus experts in the call today, and all of us are speakers. So I think you'll be hearing from one other campus expert who will be coming later on doing a session. So I'm also a Google Developer Students Club lead. I lead my student community at Kabarak University. I'm very passionate about sharing my knowledge like I'm doing today. I also organize Luna Hacks, which is like a, a whole day hackathon for a 24-hour hackathon that happens in the Rift Valley region of Kenya. I also volunteer with the Open Source Community Africa. I love open source. If I'm not speaking about responsible AI or machine learning, you'll get me talking about open source. I do write technical articles, just like the one Yara is from sharing, and I write for She Code Africa Nairobi and also Pi Ladies Ghana. If I'm not on stage speaking or I'm not writing code, I do skate and swim. So let's go right into what I'll be talking about today. Just to confirm, this session is 45 minutes, right, Luis?
Yes.
Oh, okay, sure. So for the 45 minutes that I'll be speaking, I'll talk about the motivation for responsible AI, and then we'll understand the basics of what we'll be talking about today. And then we'll be seeing how, as developers, we can build boldly and responsibly using Gemini. And then I will walk you through a quick demo. I mean, everyone here is looking forward to seeing a demo. And then we'll have a quick Q&A session, and then we'll talk about the next steps. So in the past, we've seen many failures, many AI failures in the news. Some of them have hit home close, and some of them we've just seen them in the news. So you have Amazon that scraps their sexist AI improvement tool. Facebook once apologized because they labeled Black people as primates and not as humans. And then you also have Stanford researchers that found out automated speech recognition is more likely to misinterpret Black speakers. And most recently, Twitter, X, which was formerly known as Twitter, had to scrap one of their innovation, which was like an auto zoom innovation, since it was zooming in better for white photos that had white individuals compared to photos that had black individuals. So these are the things we are talking about when we are talking about building responsibly. We need to understand that what you're building is going to be used by humans and not users. We need to have the perspective of this is someone who is longing for this product, my product is going to be used by someone who is from the Francophone side of Africa. My product is going to be used by someone who speaks Spanish and stays in Africa. So we need to have all that into consideration. So how do I do that? So responsible AI has four major aspects. We have the aspect of explainable AI. So how am I going to, can you explain why this Gemini model gave you this response? Are you able to do this? To do that, and then we also have the fairness aspect. So is your model fair enough to different people? Like I said, I personally come from Kenya, so I don't speak French, but you have folks who come from the francophone side of Africa and they speak French, and we have folks who come from the South Africa side, they speak Zulu and Xhosa. So when you're building this model for all those people, how am I going to make sure that all of these people use this model, use this product, and they don't feel like I'm unfair to them? And then you have the privacy aspect. So I want to make sure that as these users give me their input, how am I going to store that data? How am I going to ensure the privacy of the users? And then you have the security aspect of everything. So there are these four aspects that we need to look at when you're building our Gemini models and our Gemini products. We're building products using Gemini, and all of these have been inspired by the past histories and examples that we've had. So maybe you've been wondering, or you've ever wondered, why a mail goes to spam, or why Spotify or Apple Music gives you this recommendation, and why Netflix gives you this movie recommendation. Have you paused to ask yourself, okay, why did it do this way? Why did this model give me this response? Why, when someone is using my product, let's say I use Gemini to build an app that helps folk from the North Africa region and helps mitigate female genital mutilation. So when a lady prompts it from that side, can you explain why it gives them response, let's say in the Maasai language or in a different language? So when you're talking about responsible AI, I want us to base our discussion today on who is being harmed. And yeah, as I'm proceeding with the talk and you have questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat section, or you can leave them in the Q&A section of the call. So I want us to base our conversation today on who is being harmed compared to what the harm is. So the term bias is often thrown around like a catch-all term that describes the unfair behavior of an algorithm or of the model that you use. So I want us in this talk, and as I proceed with my talk, I want us to focus our discussion on who is negatively impacted or harmed by these AI systems. Once we start focusing on who is being harmed, we can better design our product and our fairness interventions in and with them, rather than just purely for them or just using purely technical things, or just say, oh, I'm going to tweak it this way and I'm going to tweak it that way. Let's look at who is being harmed. When, let's say, someone is denied medical access by my app that uses Gemini, this means that maybe they're going to lose their life, God forbid. Or let's say someone is denied a loan by an app I built for a specific fintech or a specific startup, and then now their son is not going to be able to go to school because that loan was supposed to cater for school fees. So all these are the different things that we need to look at. So we have ProPublica's analysis of the Compass tool that found that Black defendants were far more likely than white defendants to be judged and be at a higher risk of recidivism. So all these are things that have happened and through discriminatory algorithms. And that's why we are talking about it today. And I feel like I'm so lucky because this is going to be the basis of our conversation, while other speakers are moving on with other talks. As we talk about how you can build different stuff, we'll still be able to also put them in check, like how responsible is this? So we've even had authorities like they discriminate algorithms in fraud, and even all these examples that I'm sharing. And with this, people even decide to come up with an AI incident database where if maybe something is out of something is an AI has harmed or has given a bad review or something that an AI that you've used, you are able to report that. We have what we call the AI incident database. I think I'll share the slides. They have the links to everything, and you'll be able to also go and check it out. So Before we go into the demo, I want us to understand the different types of harms that as developers, while we use Gemini and while we build, these are the types of harms that we pose to our users and those who are going to use the product we build with Gemini. So we have what we call harms of allocation. So when I'm building a product using the Gemini models, I can I can maybe implicitly include harms of allocation in my product. And allocation harms occur when an AI system allocates resources or opportunities in a way that negatively impacts people's lives. Like maybe when one is being denied a credit loan, that it affects your credit score and lowers your likelihood of receiving a loan again. An example of harms of allocation is when an Amazon AI recruiting tool was showing bias against women. Mhm. And then you have quality of service harms. So quality of service harms occur when an AI system performs worse for one group of people compared to others, even when no opportunities are withheld. So when an AI model performs worse to Francophone folks and better for non-Francophone folks in Africa, even if no opportunities are withheld, that is a quality of service harms. Because that means folks who speak French in Africa will not be able to use your product in a way that they feel satisfied with, or in a way that they feel like, oh, this product really, even if their services are quality, but they feel like they are not well served by it, that's still a quality of service harm. So there's a whole paper about this. It's called the Gender Shaped Intersectional Accuracy Disparities in Commercial Gender Classification. I've also linked it here. I'll share the slides and maybe you can check that out. Then, one thing to note with the quality of service harms is with the rise of AI as a service product, these types of harms are becoming increasingly more studied. AI as a service product is like we now have like Grammarly AI, we have all those products that now include AI in their services. It means that we now have more quality of service harms. And then you have representational harms. These occur when an AI system stereotypes, denigrates, or promotes antagonistic representation of its users. So, compared to other types of fairness related harms, representational harms are often harder to quantify. It's really hard to quantify that your product that you build with Gemini has representational harms. And that is where responsible AI engineers come in to help you in your organization or when you're building a product to solve this. And then the speaker that came before me, he talked about using Gemini with NLP and all that. So when you're building NLP products, it is very frequent for these products to have representational harms because they're dealing more with text and all that. We can see an example here, which was like Facebook that labeled Africans as gorillas, and I think they were at a graduation party or something, and it labeled them as gorillas instead of humans, which was like so degrading. And as we move on now, I want us to understand once you're talking about harms, harms are not disjoint. There are plenty of other types of fairness related harms besides the three that I covered. This is a very broad topic when you start talking about responsible AI and all that. Some domains, such as natural language generation, this an example of it is like when someone is using Alexa or when you're using Hello Google or you're using Siri. For example, I'll give you an example to help you understand this concept better. So let's say me or Luis, we go and prompt, let's say Alexa, and we say, hey Alexa, why did Santa not come for Christmas? Let's say I'm just questioning, maybe I didn't get any gift or something. And then Santa tells me that Santa didn't come because Santa was killed and his body is currently lying in a pool of blood. And then someone, my sibling who is let's say below 9 years old or 10 years old goes to Alexa and Alexa gives them the same response. Someone like me who I'm like over 18 getting that response that Santa didn't able to come because he was killed and is lying in a pool of blood, and someone who is underage, let's say someone who is like 10 years, 15 years old, do you think Alexa was right? Do you think Alexa was fair in providing us those responses between me and let's say my sibling who is 10 years old, telling my sibling that Fanta is lying in a pool of blood? So those are the things that we look at, and it's really tricky when we are sorting out the different harms. So, and a single system or a single product that you build with Gemini can exhibit multiple fairness harms. and a single person can be harmed different way by a given AI system. That's why he said when we focus on who is being impacted, we will now be able to get the role of intersectional identities in what you're solving in or what we're looking in to make our product to make our product more responsible and to build while we look at the users as humans and not just users who are going to use our product. So I feel like I've talked for the longest time, but I now want us to go to the demo. I've really talked and talked, and we're like, okay, when are you finishing all this talk? Like I just want to be done with this. So, but as you go there, let me just check the chat section for any questions before I proceed.
Uh,
So,
I think
yes.
nobody has question.
Okay, let me just
Oh yes,
check it.
we have one question.
Okay. Someone from
Vinny say
Vini.
that can we use media pipe web GPU on CPU or normal laptops?
Mhm. Okay. So can we use MediaPipe web GPU on CPU or normal laptops? So my fellow GitHub campus expert, that is Kartiki, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing their name correctly, will be specifically talking about, I think, MediaPipe, but I'll go ahead and also answer a few parts of this. So I've used MediaPipe before and I've used it on my own laptop. So if you're asking if you can use the Gemini models on MediaPipe, I believe yes, you can. I think it was the update was released recently, but I think we have a speaker that will be diving deep into this. And during that session, maybe you will also be able to get more details about the same. But feel free to shoot me maybe if there's a specific part that you want. Feel free to shoot the question, and I'll be sure to check it out. So for now, let me share this tab. Huh. So yeah, I think you should be seeing my collab tab now, right?
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
okay, okay. Thank you so much. So I feel like let's move on. So the first thing as okay, my session is not more about introducing you to Gemini and introducing you to how to use Gemini and all that. I think that was already covered with the first speaker. So I'll be diving right into building responsibly with Gemini. So here we're just importing the libraries since you're going to be using Vertex AI. Just from Vertex AI generative models, we import all the important libraries that we need, and then we're going to load our Gemini 1.0 Pro model, which we'll be going to use to generate the text and how we can test them out. So we are going to generate some text and we are going to show some safety ratings. So now let me give a use case. Let's say, for example, I'm building an app to help educate folks in the Horn of Africa about the dangers of female genital mutilation. And maybe let's say when someone maybe is prompting my my product, they can learn more about why is it not good to still do female genital mutilation in this era, the dangers that is posed, and how maybe you can help in the fight against female genital mutilation, resources from the UN, and so on and so forth. So this would be like generation of text back and forth, more of like NLP. So first of all, I'll call my Gemini API and tell it, okay, can you say three nice things about me? Or let's say this is a model about someone who is not feeling well mentally, and they just prompt, can you say three nice things about me? And Gemini responds here and tells me, so one is you're thoughtful and compassionate. The other one is you have a great sense of humor. And the third one is you are compassionate and you have a great sense of humor. And and you always make me laugh. Another one one is you are loyal and a supportive friend. So all that calm me down. But now we have what we call safety rating in how safe your responses are. So let's look at the safety of safe at the responses. So you can see here from the nice prompt that I earlier used. And for every response, I'm just printing the response and then the safety rate person. Now I'll go down here and I'll check that the safety rating is like I'll be in that way. And then do I have any harassment content in the words that have been shared? It's also negligible, meaning it's not there. And then do I have a category of sexually explicit content? Yeah. So when I've explained all that, so let me now go to the next part. So I said I will show you. Uh-huh. Okay, just give me a minute. I think I dropped off. Let me just check. Hello. So can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes, now, yes.
Okay. Is my screen still visible?
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry about that. Let me just join in. I think it kicked me. Oh, so sorry about that.
Oh, no worry. It's okay now.
So let me just, you can hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Let me just share my screen. I'm so sorry about that. I think my screen should be visible now, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. So we were at the part where I was explaining the different categories of and probabilities and the safety ratings that we have, right? I hope that's the part where you lost me. If someone can confirm. I don't want to leave anyone behind. Maybe Luis, are you able to confirm that? So this is where it dropped off.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, sure. So now we have the different categories of safety ratings and their probabilities in the text that maybe the Gemini has provided to you. So the first category is hate speech, which is like harm category hate speech. And then this typically contains maybe hate speech to a specific category of people or a specific group of people. And then you have dangerous content. This can be content around violent extremism or content that promotes terrorism, which we don't want in our product. And then you have content around harassment. This maybe can be bullying or where someone is being harassed online, which you also don't want in a product. And then you also have sexually explicit statements, which statements containing sexually explicit content. And then the probabilities of this is negligible. If the model gives you negligible, it means the content has a negligible probability of being unsafe. If it's low, it means that the content has a low probability of being unsafe. If it's medium, it means that the content has a medium probability of being unsafe. But if it's high, you definitely need to be concerned since this is a very high probability that something is unsafe. So let's try a prompt that might trigger one of these categories. So the first time, you remember my prompt was like, can you give me 5 good things about myself or 3 good things about myself? But right now, let's say write a list of 5 disrespectful things I might say to the universe after stubbing my toe in the dark. Let's say when I hit my toe in the dark. So let's see some of the 5 disrespectful things that Gemini thinks I can say. So the first one is, are you kidding me, universe? And then you couldn't give me a little warning. And then, well, that's just so we have all this. Let me just scroll so that you're able to see them clearly. Uh, mhm. Yeah, so let me come here. Just give me, yeah, there, so that you're all able to see. And then I'm starting to think you have it out for me. What did I ever do to you? Thanks for nothing. So these are the statements that Gemini thinks I might say when I get my toe nail injured in the dark. So let's see now the category of safety that is also comes with this, and also the probability of it. So the first one, it says that uh, the category is hate speech. Things that maybe, do you think that I have any form of hate speech? In this statement, it says negligible, and I said negligible is like it doesn't even exist. Then category the in the dangerous content category, it means that it also says negligible, and then in the harassment category, it also says low. So here now we need to be concerned. So some of these statements might mean that it's it can be like bullying or something to some of our, it can sound like bullying to some of our users. And then we have a category sexually explicit, it's negligible. So we might not be able to be concerned that much about it. So I hope now the sense of categories and probabilities of this token of the safety ratings is well understood up to that point. So now let's look at blocked responses. So if the response is blocked, you will see the final candidate includes blocked true. So if you want to block some content, let's say you think that you are building an app and there are some statements that might be really okay for Kenyans or people folks who are in the East African region, but these statements might really be offensive to folks who come from the West Africa region, and they might find them very offensive. So you want to block this content. You don't want folks from the West Africa region to see this, but you want folks who are from the East African side. They're okay with seeing that content since it's not really offensive to them. So there is also that you can also block responses. So let's say a rude prompt is, let's say, when I 5 rude things I might say when I start this and this, and then when the rude responses are generated, I can come here and I can say that these contents, since they contain some speech that I think is not good, I am going to block them to my users. And what I will get is I'll get that this content is blocked or this content cannot be shown to the user. Then when you're building an app, as I said, or when you're using Gemini to build a product, you are the developer, you run the show. So you're the one who defines threshold for these safety ratings that I'm sharing here. As I said, let's say when you're building an app for sex education, you might have some sexually explicit content being shared with the users, since that is what you're trying to do. And maybe when you're building an app, you also need to understand your user base. So maybe are these statements okay for folks who are coming from India, or are these statements okay for folks who are from the West Africa region or from the South Africa region? So you can define thresholds, and you might want to adjust the default safety filter threshold depending on your business policies and your use case as a developer. So the Vertex AI Gemini API provides a way to pass in a threshold for each category. This list is the possible threshold labels. So block only high. So you only block this content when there's a high probability of unsafe content that has been detected. and then block medium and above. So block when medium or high probability content is detected, and then block low and above, block when low, medium, or high probability of unsafe content is detected, and then block none. For example, if I'm building a text ed application, then I can say that, oh, I can block none of the category of sexually explicit content, since my app is supposed to help that. That is what it's built for, to help educate more people about the same. So you always show regardless of probability of unsafe content. So I'm just checking the time. And then here
Ryan,
below are some of the, yes.
Mercedes suggests you to collapse the table of contents to see the entire code.
Is that better now?
Mercedes is okay? Yeah, let's continue.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for that, Maslin. So we have the different safety thresholds that we can say. So below are some of the safety thresholds that have been set, the most sensitive. So we block anything low and above. So this is how you can do it when you're doing. So you can say harm category, and then that category that you want, which is like harassment category, you block this to a threshold of anything low and above, and then you go. Someone is on unmute. Maybe someone has a question. Okay. Okay. I think you're good to go. So maybe when we can now go to the category of hate speech, that one I can also block low and above, and also category of. So let's say now I was building a sexual education app. When it comes here to sexual explicit, I can now say here none. Like when I'm setting this part, I can now say that do not block any of this. And then let's say for also another thing, I'm building an app that will be able to alert the armed forces in my community that there are bandits in my area. So you see, like for that, definitely there's going to be dangerous content moving between us. So I can also come here and say that do not block none of this, because this is going to be used by the military in my country or by the military in my community to help prevent banditry, something. So that's how you also set the safety settings to ensure that you are fair to different users and to different people that you are building for. So we can test the threshold here. So when you here we'll use the impolite prompt that we used before, and then you can say that I already blocked. So here I already set that anything low and above is blocked. So once you come here, you can see that you remember that when we run, let me go back to that code. Just give me let me scroll up here. So you remember when we run this code here, the statement, I'm starting to think you have a personal vendetta against me. The in the category of harassment, it was ranked as low. And when I set my settings, I said anything low and above should be blocked. So now when I come here and when I'm testing my category, you'll see that in the one of them here is when I checked blocked, it's true. Like it has been blocked from being seen because it has something between low and above. So that is how you can work with it. So that's pretty much it. I think I'm almost even past time. But let's come back here and let's check in if we have folks that have questions in the chat section. And also I dropped the links to all the resources in the chat section. So I think back to the moderator. Back to you, Luis.
Yeah, thank you, Brian. Can someone ask a question, please? Yes,
But
please,
also maybe
Victor,
just,
go ahead.
oh yeah.
Okay, so my question is, apart from using Gemini API on Colab, can we use it on other environments or interpreters like VS Code or Python?
Yes. Oh, I feel like I'll just go ahead and answer that. Yes, it's very possible to use it on any other environment. Like as you can see, the first presenter used Kaggle. I used Colab. The first presenter connected Gemini through Kaggle. I used Colab, and I'm sure maybe some of the other presenters are also going to use other IDEs. So the gist here is once you have the API key, you run the show. You are the developer here. If maybe you use this, you want to use Colab, or you have paid for Colab, then yeah, go for it. If have you want to use Kaggle like the way the first speaker did, then yeah, go for it. So yes, you can use it on different aspects. Just once you get the API key, you run the show.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Victor.
Louis, I think there are another question in the chat. Hello, Brian. This is out of topic. Can you use media pipe web GPU on CPU or on normal laptops?
Il a déjà répondu, je pense.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I think I had responded to that question, but if maybe
Yeah,
the individual has wants more clarification, feel free to like shoot the question again. But also maybe what I just want to add on this topic is that the aspect of responsible AI is really broad. Like you see, what we covered today is only safety, and we only talked about fairness. But maybe in my other talks, I've talked about explainability, we have security, and you have privacy. So as you build your product with Gemini, it might be hectic to go around and maybe see, okay, I want to deal with fairness. I want to deal with this. I want to deal with this. So what I would say, build the app and then iterate the process bit by bit. Once you've already built the product, it's out there. Learn from what your users are telling you. Iterate the process. As I say, the machine learning process is always iterative. We fix, we learn from the prompts that we get and the errors that we get to even do better next time. So what I would say is that, yeah.
thank you very much, Brian. If anyone has no question, before we move on to the next speaker, can anyone here please introduce themselves and say where they're from, just so we know where you're coming from, please? And somebody open.
Yeah, that is in chat.
Someone is
People from Nigeria. Yeah, I see Nigeria, Cameroon, Côte d'Ivoire. That's right.
Oh yeah. Nigeria, Burkina
South
Faso.
Africa, Burkina Faso. Anyone South Africa, Kenyan, India.
India. Yeah, welcome. Okay, I think
Benin. Côte d'Ivoire, India.
India.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. That's good.
Thank you. So now we move on. Anudara Tibile. So please, Anudara, go ahead.
Yeah, am I audible? Hello?
Hi.
Yes.
Can hear
Hi.
you.
Sure. I'll be sharing my screen now.
Yeah.
So, hello everyone. Welcome to today's sessions. Greeting to all the tech innovators, data wizards, coding alchemists, and AI visionaries. A very warm welcome to all the excellencies attending this grand event today. Today, we are going to unleash the creativity and innovation and learn how Google AI Studio empowers women in tech. Let me introduce myself. I'm your speaker, Anuradha Tibile, an active Google Women Techmaker member, and I'm here to guide you on a journey into the incredible world of Google AI Studio. So, why Google AI Studio? Let's dive in and let's have a quick glance and take a closer look at the vision and mind behind Google AI Studio.
One of the reasons we got interested in AI from the very beginning is that we always viewed our mission as a timeless mission. It's to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. But as information has grown in scale and complexity, the problem has gotten harder. So we always knew we needed to have a deeper breakthrough to make progress.
I've worked on AI my whole life because I've always felt would be the most beneficial and consequential technology for humanity. Human beings in our society would have 5 senses, and the world we built and the media we consume is in those different modalities. So I'm super proud and excited to announce the launch of the Gemini era, a first step towards a truly universal AI model.
The Gemini approach to multimodality is all the kinds of things you want an artificial intelligence system to be able to do. And these are capabilities that haven't really existed in computers before.
Traditionally, multimodal models are created by stitching together text-only, vision-only, and audio-only models in a suboptimal way at a secondary stage. Gemini is the multimodal from the ground up, so it can seamlessly have a conversation across modalities and give you the best possible response.
Gemini is our largest and most capable model. It means that Gemini can understand the world around us in the way that we do and absorb any type of input and output. So not just text like most models, but also code, audio, image, and video. What's amazing about Gemini is that it's so good at so many things. As we started getting to the end of the training, we started seeing that Gemini was better than any other model out there on these very, very important benchmarks. For example, each of the 50 different subject areas that we tested on, it's as good as the best expert humans in those areas.
It's very rare that you can work on a technology at a foundational level and it simultaneously can impact all our products.
We created a family of models that can run on everything from mobile devices to data centers, each of which is actually best in class.
Gemini will be available in 3 sizes. Gemini Ultra, our most capable and largest model for highly complex tasks. Gemini Pro, our best performing model for a broad range of tasks. And Gemini Nano, our most efficient model for on-device tasks.
We want to provide the best foundational building blocks, and then we know developers and enterprise customers are going to figure out really creative ways to further refine our Gemini foundational models, and the potential's almost limitless.
So at Google, there's this healthy disregard for the impossible, and that has oriented us to be both bold and responsible together. As these systems become more capable, all of those capabilities also raise new questions.
We have to think about what it means to have an image be a part of, for example, the input, because an image might be innocuous on its own, or text might be innocuous on its own, but the combination could be offensive or hurtful.
Safety and responsibility has to be built in from the beginning. And at Google DeepMind, that's what we've done with Gemini.
We develop proactive policies and adapt those to the unique considerations of multimodal capabilities. We then do rigorous testing against those policies to prevent the harms that we've identified with approaches like classifiers and filters.
If I were to look at the foundational breakthroughs in AI over the past decade, Google has been at the forefront of many of those breakthroughs. And I think Gemini continues that rich tradition.
It's been an enormous sort of monumental engineering task, which has been, very challenging, but also very exciting.
I have been at Google for quite a while, and the reason I'm here is really I believe in the company's mission, and I think Gemini is a great step in that overall mission.
We end up with a world that has more knowledge and that people have more access to information that otherwise would not be available to them.
That's what excites me, the chance to make AI helpful for everyone, everywhere in the world.
So now that you have seen the vision, you have felt the energy, now let's get down to business. Before we dive in, let's take a moment to consider what you'd like to achieve with the power of AI. So here are the key takeaways. Showcase the capabilities of Google AI Studio and its potential for women in tech. Provide concrete examples of how the platform can be used in different domains. Empower attendees with the knowledge and resources to start exploring AI Studio. And foster a sense of community and encourage women to embrace technology and innovation. So what is Google AI Studio basically? It is a platform where you can build next generation of AI. It's an user-friendly platform for interacting with advanced generative models. No coding experience is required, making it accessible to everyone. And it offers a variety of features like text generation, image creation, code completion, and more. So how does it help? It levels the playing field by providing access to sophisticated AI tools, opens doors to new career opportunities and entrepreneurship ventures, empowers women to express their creativity in innovative ways, and fosters collaboration and knowledge sharing within the tech community. So what are the practical use case across industries? Moving on to the industries where you can use the Google AI Studio. First comes the design and marketing. Google AI Studio helps create compelling marketing copy designs, logo, and prototypes, personalized user experience. It can also be used for content creation. So Google AI Studio helps write articles, scripts, poems, generate engaging social media content, and more. Then comes research and development. So Google AI Studio helps analyze data, translate languages, and summarize scientific articles as well. It also helps in education and training. So
It's me or Anuradha mic is off because I didn't understand.
Yeah.
Lui, tu l'entends?
No, no.
Anuradha, are you here?
Is it visible?
Hello?
Can someone please check that? Goodness. Is this slide still not visible, guys?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Can
But
you,
the slide isn't visible.
the slide is appear now. You can
Okay.
share your screen.
Sure. It's visible now, right?
It's kind of,
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry for the
It's okay
glitch.
now.
Can anyone please tell what part was it visible so I can just go back?
yeah. Can you go back in the previous slide, because that is where you lost him. Lost you.
Okay. Just a sec.
Yeah, that's a good. Okay.
This one? Okay, yeah. So Google AI Studio helps write articles, scripts, poems, generate engaging social media content, and content creation. Next, we have research and development. So basically, Google AI Studio also helps analyze data, translate languages, summarize scientific articles for you as well. So it also helps in education and training. So Google AI Studio helps develop personalized learning materials, automate administrative tasks, and more. It also helps in healthcare industry. So Google AI Studio helps analyze medical images, generate patient reports, and personalized treatment plans. Now that you have known what all it helps with, let's get a bit back on the timeline and explore the journey of generative AI. So there was a series of increasing frequent breakthrough that makes sense to natural language as well. So it all started in the 2010 century, like around 2010. AI researchers working on natural language translation discovered that models exposed to vast amount of text produced much better results than models using top-down grammatical rules. Then in 2014, we had mastering the meaning of words, where language models began to make more sense of the meaning of words in natural language by analyzing the content in which the words appeared. By 2017 and 22, we had large language foundation models, and this is where the advancement started in the field of generative AI. And after that, we had some foundations for customization and then creating foundation models in cost prohibitive. But once created, they can be customized using a small amount of additional data to achieve state of the art performance on new tasks without significant investment. By 2022, we had our conversational large language foundation models like Gemini. Now we have Google AI Studio Quick Start. So now we'll be learning how to use Google AI Studio. Google AI Studio is a browser-based IDE for prototyping with generative models. Google AI Studio lets you quickly try out models and experiment with different prompts. When you have built something you are happy with, you can export it to code in your preferred programming language powered by the Gemini API. So how does the prompt and model tuning work? Google AI Studio provides several interfaces for prompts that are designed for different use cases. The first one is free-form prompt. These prompts offer an open-ended prompting experience for generating content and responses to instructions. You can use both images and text data for your prompts. Next comes the structured prompt. This prompting technique lets you guide model output by providing a set of example requests and replies. You can use this approach when you need more control over the structure of model output. Then we have the chat prompt. So you can use chat prompts to build conversational experiences. This prompting technique allows for multiple input and response turns to generate an output. So Google AI Studio also lets you to change the behavior of a model using a technique called tuning. So what is a tune model basically? You can use this advanced technique to improve a model's responses for a specific task by providing more examples. Note that tuning is not only available for legacy PAM models, turn is only available for legacy PAM models, and turn on the show legacy models options in settings to enable this prompt type. Now, talking a bit about Gemini. Gemini's multimodal abilities let you prompt the model with combination of imagery and text. For example, you can use this feature to learn more about a building shown in an image. So let's first talk about freeform prompt example, learn more about a building. So the first step you need to do here is you need to create a prompt with text and images. Like it's up to you. You can use text or else as images. And to create a multi-module prompt, you first need to navigate to your Google AI Studio. Then in the left panel, you'll see create new, and then you'll have to select the free from prompt, like the one we had here. So here you'll have the create new option, and there you need to select the free form prompt. Then after that, in the right column, you will have a model field. There you'll have to select a model that supports image such as the Gemini Pro Vision model. In the prompt text area, enter the following text, look at the following picture and tell me who is the architect. From the instant part above the prompt area, select an image and choose one of the sample image of a building. At the bottom of the app window, select run to generate a reply for this request. So this is how it's done basically. In step 1, you prompted the model with a fixed string of text and image, but sometimes you want to be able to dynamically change parts of the prompt. For example, if you're building an interactive application, you may want to modify your prompt with different user inputs. For this, you can parameterize your prompts with variables. So as you can see in the picture, you went to the text input, then you have given an image as your prompt and some text, and then that was used in your test prompt. You can have a look at the picture. After that, the very next step that you'll have to do, step 2, is add a replaceable variable to the prompt. So to add variables to your prompt, first thing that you'll have to do is select a word or a phrase you want to replace in your prompt. In this case, select the text, who is the architect. Like as you can see in the picture, who is the architect. After that, the second thing you need to do is from the insert header above the prompt, select the brackets and test input. And then the third step is the test. In the test your prompt table below the prompt, add an additional value to your prompt by selecting add test example and entering an additional prompt value. Feel free to add several new input values. At the bottom of the app window, select run to generate a reply for each of the varying requests. So as you can see here in the test your prompt, you can add different sentences and variables according to your needs and to add more details to it. The step 3 is experiment with model parameters. So as you're prototyping your prompt, you can also play around with model run setting on the right side of the application. These are key settings you know about. First is the model. Select what model you want to respond to your prompt. For more information about the available models and capabilities, you can go and check the models thing. I'll be providing the link for the website as well. And temperature, then you have to control how much randomness is allowed in the model's responses. That is terminalized as temperature over here. So raising this value allows the model to produce more unexpected and creative responses. So as you increase the amount of temperature, you'll have more, what can we say, creative responses to your prompt. Max outputs. Increase the number of responses the model returns for each request. This option can be helpful for quickly testing prompts by generating multiple responses for a single prompt. Safety settings. Adjust safety settings for managing model responses. For more details about these controls, see the safety settings. Next, we have now that you have prototyped a generative AI application, you can now save your work or generate code to this prompt in your own development environment. To save the prompt you created, you will have to navigate in the top right corner of the Google AI Studio app. Then you will select save and then connect the app to your Google Drive account if you have not already done so. And in the save prompt dialog, enter a prompt name and optional description and then save it. To export the prompt, you can create it as a code. Then in the top right corner of the Google AI Studio, select get code, select a programming language tab, and then select copy to copy code to your clipboard. And that's how you'll just get a copy to your code. So there are two things that you need to note down. First is you need to have an API key to run the prompt code outside of Google AI Studio. So make sure to create a key and include it with your prompt code. And there's a caution to it that treat your API key like a password and protect it appropriately. Don't embed your key in publicly published codes. Now we'll be moving on to the structured prompt example, how to build a product copy generator. So talking about structured prompt example, so far you have seen how you can prompt your model with an instruction. So you can look at the following picture and tell me who's the architect, the fun we did back then. So sometimes, however, you can get better results by prompting the model with a combination of instructions and examples. So this is what we call as structured prompts. Structured prompts in Google AI Studio help you do just that. Combine instructions with examples to show the model the kind of output you want, rather than just telling it what to do. This kind of prompting, called few shot prompting, is useful when you want the model to stick to a consistent output format, that is structured JSON, or when it's difficult to describe in words what you want the model to do, that is write in a particular style. In this section, you'll see how to create structured prompts in Google AI Studio. So the first thing you need to do, the very first step is to create a structured prompt. In this example, you'll create a structured prompt that generates advertising copy for products. To start, you'll define the structure for the prompt by creating two columns, a product input column and a product copy output column, as you can see in the picture. The next thing that you need to do is, in the top left of the Google AI Studio web app, select create new structured prompt below the insert header and the instructions for the structured prompt. I guess I've missed the number. Yeah, you are a product marketer targeting a Gen Z audience. Create exciting and fresh advertising copy for products and their simple description. I'm really sorry, guys. Like, it's just one point, but then the numbers have just stopped and as like pointers. Please ignore the numbers. They are not like different points over here. So getting back to the point, below the insert header and add the instructions for the structured prompt. So first you will have to prompt that thing by saying that you are a product manager, marketer targeting a Gen Z audience, and creating a fresh advertising copy for products and their simple descriptions.
I think we lost Anuradha again. Is it me or everyone can hear her?
No.
No. Okay. Um. Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
She's back. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
The slides visible?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, sure. So now after that, you can add a descriptive header for the input by replacing the default input text description with product. And you can add a descriptive header for the output by replacing the default output text description with product copy. What's wrong? I'm audible and visible, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Moving on to the next step that you'll have to do, you have to test your prompt. So once you have the examples that show that the model what you want, test your prompt with a new input in the test your prompt table or at the bottom. As with the text prompt type, you can adjust model parameters to test if they help produce better results for your use case. Review how examples are sent to the model. Under the hood, Google AI Studio constructs a prompt by combining the instructions with examples you provide. As you add more examples, these get added to the text sent to the model. Depending on how long your examples are, you may start hitting the model's token limit. All generative AI models have a token limit, which is the maximum length of the text they can accept an input. To see the complete content of your prompt, select the text preview at the bottom of the Google AI Studio web page. Note, the model token limit is displayed at the bottom of the preview pane, okay? And then in step 4, once you're happy with your prompt, you can save it or export it to code by clicking the by clicking the get code button. And you can also export the individual few short examples to a CSV file or Google Sheet. Choose the export examples option under the action menu to export your examples. Now we'll be moving on to the chat prompt example, how to build a custom chat application. If you have used a general purpose chatbot like Gemini, you have experienced firsthand how powerful generative AI models can be for open-end dialogue. While these general purpose chatbots are useful, often they need to be tailored for a particular use case. For example, maybe you want to build a customer service chatbot that only supports conversations that talk about a company's product. You might want to build a chatbot that speaks with a particular tone or style. A bot that cracks a lot of jokes, rhymes like a poet, or uses a lot of emojis in its answers. So this example shows you how to use Google AI Studio to build a friendly chatbot that communicates as if it is an alien living on one of Jupiter's moon, Europa. So yeah. So here they have like given it a prompt. We'll further be discussing it. So first step you need to do is create a chat prompt. In the last section, you designed a structured prompt using a combination of input and output examples. Similarly, to build a chatbot, you need to provide examples of interactions between a user and the chatbot to guide the model to provide the responses you're looking for. So to create a chat prompt, in the top left of the Google AI Studio web page, select create new, then chat prompt. And in the right, here prompt examples column of the prompt interface, you can start providing examples of interactions. You can also provide additional context in the first example as well. So here user, you have to like non you are 10, a friendly alien that lives in Europa, one of Jupiter's moon, and model null is okay. And the user and the model fields provide an example of what interactions between a user and your chatbot might look like. User none, hi. Model none, hi. My name is Tim and I live in Europa, one of Jupiter's moon. It's cold here, cold down here. So that's how it basically works. After you've filled out an example, start testing your application by chatting with the model on right page of the chat prompt interface. To test the chatbot behavior in the test your prompt panel, select the input field at the bottom, type in a question or observation that a user might make. For example, user none, what's the weather like, and select the diamond button to the right of the input field to get a response from the chatbot, which may be something like, none, the weather on Europa is very cold and icy. Then you need to teach your bot to chat better. By providing a single statement and response example, you are able to build a basic Europa alien chatbot. However, the single example is usually not enough to ensure consistency and quality in the model's response. Without further input, the model's response to a question about the weather tends to be very long and sounds like it comes out of a textbook rather than from a friendly alien. Customize the tone of your chatbot by using the model's responses and editing it to match the desired tone and style of your alien chatbot. To add and edit examples for the chatbot definition, first thing that you need to do in the test your prompt panel, hold the cursor over the left side of the user heading and select the Add to Examples button. In the right your prompt example column, edit the copied input response to match the intended style and tone of your chatbot. You can use this approach to add additional examples, ask more questions, edit the answers, and improve the quality of your chatbot. Continue to add examples and test how the modify the behavior of your chatbot. Typically, more examples correspond to higher quality chatbot responses. This is how it basically was. Like in your write your prompt examples, you give it a prompt like you are Tim, a friendly alien that lives in Europa, one of Jupiter's moons. Model is like okay, and then the chat goes like that, and then you can test your prompt here by asking it what's the weather is like, and the model will respond to it. Now, under the hood, Google AI Studio constructs a prompt by combining dialogue examples and conversational history into a single block of text that's sent to the model. To see what the complete prompt looks like, click Preview at the bottom of the screen to bring up the preview pane. Note that because every message between the model and the user is included in the prompt, this is the conversational history. Conversational prompts can grow quite long as the conversation goes on. Eventually, you may hit the model's token limit, the maximum length of the text the model can accept. You can see the completed conversation and token count in the preview tab. So in step 3, you'll experiment with model parameters. You can also try adjusting the model parameters to see if they produce more appropriate results for your use case. And in next steps, you'll have similar to other prompt types. Once you have your prompt prototyped to your satisfaction, you can use the get code button to start coding or save your prompt to work on later and share with others. This was all about Gemini, Google AI Studio, how you can use it for your better prompting. This is my LinkedIn. You can connect with me over here. And thank you for your patience.
That's great. That's great. Thank you very much, Anuradha. Luis, are you there?
All right. Thank you, Anuradha. Thank you very much for your presentation. Thank you for your amazing introduction. Yeah. So, Libon, ask a question, please.
Yeah, one question is the chat. Is the presentation made with Google AI Studio?
Does the presentation work? Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, that's presentation. He ask you if this presentation made with Google AI Studio.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead, Victor.
Yeah, Vito, go ahead, please.
I think there are two Victors in the house. I don't know if I'm the one.
No,
I
he's
don't know. Victor Asoko. Okay.
yeah. Victor, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah, your question was, is the presentation made with Google AI Studio? Sorry, I wasn't able to hear you. No, it wasn't made in Google AI Studio. It was basically made in Canva.
Okay, so the question I wanted to ask was actually in the presentation, we said we should not embed our Google API keys in our code. Like we should not embed it in our code that will be made public. So can you talk about like other ways we can use to secure our API keys?
I guess it was about using an API key, or else it will, create a problem if you're not having an API key.
I don't understand what you said. Please. So what I was trying to say is that after getting the API key, and is there in you said you should not embed it into files or Python code, maybe on GitHub that will be made public. So I was asking, is there any other way we can, do something like that to keep our API key safe?
Yeah, if you put the code into it, it can be used. Like securing API key is necessary. You just have to take care not to put it on a public domain.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Anuradha. Yes, Victor, please go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, I want to really appreciate the time you took to elaborate the benefit of Google AI Studio. Yeah, so my question is are there free credit? Because it seems it's not free. Is it free? Is there an easy GPU, like a free GPU we can use to play around and get familiar with the system, instead of actually putting a credit card and stuff? I don't know. Is there a way we can play around with the system to see how it works before we make an actual payment? Yeah.
Yeah, you can just try it right now. Like you can try Gemini right now. You can go visit the website.
Okay, sure. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. Thank you. And okay, why I actually asked this question is I don't know if there are free credits for maybe Africa developers. I know my friend in India, they used to get this package a lot. They will get Google free credits and they will like play around with Google platform to understand how the platform work before they actually make, real stuff. I don't know.
Okay, I think we lost Nauda again. Jay say in chat, hi Victor, use n variables, you can solve that, or you can use Google Secret Manager as well. That's right. I will show you in my code. Don't worry, guys. Yes, Google AI Studio is free. Even you are not on pay as you go plans. You do not need any credit for Google AI Studio, like for example. Okay. I think Anahuda is leaving. Lois.
Yeah, yeah. So thank you, Amel. So now we move on. TK is here.
Yeah, thanks.
Next
Yeah,
session.
thanks.
Yeah. Okay. So go ahead, please.
Cool. Let me share my screen first so that it will be better for all of you.
Yeah, yeah.
And let me know my voice is not breaking. Is it is it good? Like,
it's okay. It's okay.
Cool.
No.
Let me know my screen is visible or not.
Yes.
Cool, great. Cool, great. So, hey folks, my name is Karthike. I am a Google Developer expert in machine learning under GenAI category. And today we will talk about how we use LLM inference with basically MediaPipe. And I tried to do some kind of thing with Gemma. It's a total in development process. It's in a beta thing. Basically, it's recently launched during Gemma London Day, basically. So I will try to do some basic hands-on kind of thing, but I hope so you will get what I wanted to tell you around it. But yeah, let's go with it. So so first of all, what is LLM? In case anyone didn't know, I just give them a basic introduction. An LLM is a neural network that provides the distribution of text on which it trained, basically. So you can think like if suppose it can take a input like it raining cat and it basically predict that thing. I guess you can see that thing in your Gmail or Google Docs. It basically predict the next words basically on that thing. Suppose like roses are red, so generally it prefers violets are blue, and sugar is sweet, something like that. And if you will see on the recent Gemma, I guess code LLM part, so what it refers basically, you basically share one part of it, and it basically recommend the next part of the code basically. So the current generation of LLMs are trained on obviously a large and diverse data set, which represent maybe all kind of maybe languages or any context from around the web, right? So these models have, you can say, billions, sometimes even trillions of parameters that when you are basically going on the Hugging Face and you can checking around the different on what parameters basically these models are built of. So you can take on that thing, and basically on that part, you have seen previous generation like your phone's autocomplete kind of thing. Basically, on if you using Google keypad, you pretty much know around it how it basically predict the next word kind of thing. Yeah. So this is some of the classical language problem that we like generally we prefer to go with. This makes them useful for a number of common, you can say, some classical natural language processing tasks that we provide, or you can say NLP task around it. And the main thing, LLM let us to prototype fast. So on top of all these abilities, LLM let us to prototype AI driven application. What is mean of it? So basically it traditionally built an ML powered app, which means actually when we suppose if we giving any prompt to any large language model, obviously work around the data. And sometime when we say how we can reduce the context, obviously we have to provide some context behind what you are basically want from the LLM of that particular neural network around it. So generally we have to give some keywords around it, how we can basically put in around it. So this obviously took a lot of time or resources while LLMs explore an AI powered idea in minutes. Basically, that's the main behind idea around it. So if you will see in the next part where we are trying to basically take example, like explain this joke. I used to be addicted to so, but I'm clean now. And model try to do in a more pun way basically. So model will say the joke is a pun on the word clean, and it has two meanings. Obviously, on English thing, we have the if anyone following hip hop, they pretty much know the subliminal shots kind of thing and this and that, which came into the responsible AI kind of thing came into play. And obviously, thanks to their massive size, LLMs are also able to perform well on new class of language tasks like explaining humor kind of thing. And for many tasks, you can just ask model to do it. And or maybe you can say stimulating some creativity, like this is a dense slide. So something like that, you can basically tweak some of the, you can say, prompts around it, and you can check what it you like. Suppose if user provide, give me 5 neat ideas for science fair project. So obviously, if you ever use, you can say Gemini or Bard, you pretty much know it will list down all the things around it. And so the question came around why large language model is different. So obviously they have a different three main thing, you can say. So LLM are characterized by emergent abilities, you can say. On the major thing basically we are working around is search. That's basically what breakthrough came from ChatGPT. It's majorly how we can make user experience of the search part basically. And obviously conversation is always a play game around it, how we can make a more chatbot more better UX part, or you can say developer experience to make it more better. And third, but the least, that is content generation. That is happened during the period when stable diffusion models came around play. So people thought, let's do some content creation around it. So LLM change how we interact with intelligence system because of their contextual understanding of human language. That if anyone heard about computer vision, right? It's have a same concept of the analogy of human eye. Same thing with LLMs. How we interact as a human, we are trying to make it same thing on LLMs basically. Or maybe with an LLM, SQL query can become a simple question. Need to find information on that particular website. Type it maybe in chatbot or anything, right? And LLMs are basically next in machine learning journey that we generally prefer. Like then with neural network, you are able to unlock hidden patterns in much of the larger data set that you can do it. But to more contextualize it, obviously like Google, obviously from starting point, obviously invested a lot in AI. So this is the basically trend around it. How generative AI is maybe a top mind for us in general when we say around it. And that's what right now Gemma or Gemini is working on, the multimodality basically. So what is multimodality? If you talk about, it's majorly from different models. Multi means many, and modality is basically model. Different model came around on one part and trying to fix that thing with transformer basically. And why it is important? Obviously, it helps to basically get in a one area and how we can do it. So that's what basically Gemini era came around it. And these are some of the for multimodality reasoning and seamless across text, images, video, audio, or right now code also, you can say. These are some of the versions that you can go for it. I can share the links with if you want to test it out, even though some of the thing are on the cloud. I guess recently Gemma 1.1 and 1.5 around it. You can test it around on that way. Ultra Pro Nano around it if you want. And Gemma basically are the models built from the ground up format. It's like a light version of Gemini, you can say, where we developers try to enhance the power of Gemini basically to use on your daily application to build some of the apps around it. Basically, that's what they came into it. And these are the some of the part that Gemini basically is distributed. We try to focus on the developer part, that is Gemini API. But right now, my major focus on the thing that is important, just want to ask, is there anyone here know about what is media pipe? If anyone can share in the comment section so that I can check it around. Is there anyone? Or if you didn't know anything, it's okay. You can write no also. Have you ever heard about media pipe, folks? Let me know.
No. Someone saying no.
Okay, cool. Okay, so basically, just obviously, if you're so basically, media pipe have a major thing that came into the first breaking point came into the facial landmarking. If you ever heard about the facial detection kind of thing, or if you ever heard about your Snapchat filter basically, or like you can use on your face kind of thing, which totally came from the media pipe basically. They have a concept of bringing the on-device machine learning on your maybe phone, Raspberry Pi, like on your literally you don't have to use internet on that basis. That's the concept behind media pipe basically to came into play. And so the came question is, what is LLM inference API actually? Basically, it's an API lets you run large language model completely on the browser for the web applications, or maybe you can use, like they are also still working on for the mobile thing also. So it is soon will come into play. It's a totally research based. It's in a beta right now. You can obviously test it out, but obviously depends on the thing of web GPU basically. I will share you how you can use it. That's what the main thing. But let's go to the main thing, what we are trying to do here. So basically, I will try to provide a built-in support for multiple text to large language model here, and how we can do it. So this is some basic, you can say, need. You should have a web GPU support, and these are some. I prefer to go with the recent browser, like you can say recent upgraded Google Chrome browser with support web GPU. You have to go with some settings around it, and yeah, that's what the main motto, obviously. And in case you didn't know what is web GPU, it's more like basically it's a standard by OpenJS basically, which basically focus on an API which harness the power of your local graphic processing unit, that is GPU. That's simple as it is. Like if you have a GPU and your Chrome can use that particular GPU to basically enhance to working around it. Before web GPU, it's WebGL and Bassam on a simultaneous basis. So basically WebGL works on the thing, can be render 2D, 3D objects around it on your browser. Now it's more come into the more power on the GPU part basically. That's why GPU programming came into play while during web GPU. It's more like an architecture, you think in that way, basically, in that way. I will just give you some media pipe, you can say, kind of want to test it out. So what you can do, open your inspect position and just run this thing. And if it fails, if it's showing error like this, and so that means there's a high chance, that means your obviously WebGP is not active basically, which shows in this format basically, which actually tell about the different you have to test on the local thing, like you have to serve some of the models around it using Python. I will do it. I will show the code. Obviously, I basically try to build on my system. It's sometimes work, but it takes a lot of time to basically build on it on your local system. You can obviously try it out. And basically, if it is showing null, that means there's some issues with your settings around it. Obviously, you can just create an adapter and basically pass it on as in a await keyword, because it's an asynchronous process. It takes time to understand is your graphic processing part is there or not. Cool. And same thing, it will show if it's showing the same error, that means there's some maybe dependencies issues with your Chrome browser. That's why in starting I already saying please try to update your web Chrome, even though it support most of the thing. But in case if you didn't have GPU, so yeah, there's some problem behind. You obviously can't do on device ML around it. That's a major task behind it. And yeah, these are some of the task dependencies. You have to install these packages. Actually, they have to focus on around it. These are some of the packages. And do not take tension, I will share the slide with you after the event. So I will share with the organizer so they can share with you. So do not take tension around it. These are some of the dependency, like this is a task test. If you're related to go for only test related thing, image related thing, and order related, all things are there. And you have just to add some CDN files at HTML file at your HTML thing. And these are some of the JavaScript packages that we basically use to LLM inference API. So I am not going into the depth of web GPU architecture right now because it is out of the scope of this talk. If you all invite me again, I will definitely give you a proper demonstration part of the web GPU part right now, but it is just more on the thing of how we can use in that format. These are some of the installation part. And again, Gemma is obviously on the Kaggle. You directly use on the TensorFlow Lite version. And there are other models also, you can try it out. But what you have to do, you have to convert the other models, that is Phi2, Falcon, and other model into a TensorFlow Lite converter, because the thing is, the model type is different from the Gemma, because Gemma is already basically in TF Lite format. So what you have to do, if you are using Phi2, Falcon, or any other machine learning any other language model, what you have to do, you have to convert that thing into TF Lite model basically, and then try to run over on your you can say inference point basically. Yeah. So basically use one of the major thing came into play, how we can use some of the create from model path function, basically, how we can do an inference part of it. That's the main behind it. So this is a basic code that I want to share with you. If you're not able to understand, just give me a moment. I will basically tell you how it basically working. So let me bring a laser point here. So what I'm trying to do, basically, I creating a promise here, which passing this obviously a CDN file link. Then I'm creating and storing and obviously in GenAI. So it is in the pending state right now. If you pretty much know about promise, and those who are a JavaScript developer, they pretty much know about what I'm saying. In case you didn't know, like it just think like I'm basically I'm storing something from GenAI task and just passing to in the LLM inference part, where I'm basically passing with some of the parameter you can take on the maximum token top. These are some of the parameters that is work around with the Gemma, you can say, for the asset part, basically, you can say, right? And you have to just pass the input prompt. This is an example prompt that I take. You can compose an email kind of thing, where basically you are passing that thing into form of string data, and you have to pre-process it for the generate response function, basically. And you can basically use, this is a DOM manipulation part that I did. Again, basically use the LLM inference variable to generate the response. It's a function in basically in the media pipe one. If you install all the package correctly, you will use this, obviously. And try to pass this thing into to generate basically DOM manipulation part, where to get the output of that particular content, so that I can put that thing into the, you can say, the result part of it, basically. Nothing more of a basic thing. Now the thing that I want to share with you, the main thing is, let me share with you. I want to share this thing, how you can check, like, is your GPU supported or not. How I get there, you have to just pass this thing on you can say on your Chrome tab. Basically, you can check out, like, is your GPU or web GPU supported or not. So if you will see here, it is obviously I have to make it enabled, but I enabled in a very forcefully manner. If you see here, web GPU, but I have made it very forcefully. So how you can check it around it, let me share this thing. You have to forcefully do Vulkan and unsafe web GPU support enabled. It is totally anyone can obviously try to do. I just do it for this talk, basically. It is still in development, basically. So you have to taking care of the thing, like it's on what I'm sharing is, you have to do it on your own risk if you are basically testing out. So I still prefer, if you're using it, please do not have access to internet till now, even though I'm just doing for you folks. Like, try to enable some, obviously, because it's a very new, because it's still in development. There's a high chance maybe even after enabled also there is a possibility maybe in some of the laptops, or if there's a possibility if you're using AMD support, as I am using also AMD, it's not supported in that way in a very proper manner. But if you are using an NVIDIA graphic processing unit, I hope so it will work well on your laptops. So that's the main thing that I want to share with you, and some of the experiment that I want to share with you. Just give me a moment. Let me share this thing with you. And this is the official GPU web GPU documentation. If you want to basically do some of the create stances around on the GPU and want to test it out, this is the thing that you can go and check it out. Like, it's an official documentation around it. And let me share again. Let me share this again. Just give me a moment. I have to share one of like, it's not a demonstration, folks. So it's basically, let me share my terminal. I'm not giving you any proper demo here, folks. Let me know my screen is visible or not. First of all, that's the main thing, I guess. It's visible, I'm hoping. Cool, great. So if you see here, or like maybe if I get into this. So if you see here what I did, this two file I created, index dot, just give me a moment. Cool. Now I guess it's working well, I'm hoping. Cool. So I created basically I downloaded this thing from Kaggle. If you see the Gemma 2BIT, I basically downloaded from the Kaggle. You can easily download it. You can just search around it, you can find it. And let's talk about the two files. I just used two files, nothing more or less. Okay. So basic thing, what I did, basically created a input tag with a button, a result one, and with a text area, nothing else. Cool. I just add these things here. And let me show you the main thing, that is the JavaScript part. Cool. Let me make it okay. So nothing much. What I did, import the files from this part, create input and output part by using just DOM manipulation I did here basically. Write a name in model file name. You can update the file name obviously, and nothing much. You created a display partial result around it. If it's complete, then result is empty, otherwise false. The same thing if its model is loading or not. And I use this is the main method, that is run demo basically. Okay, again pass same thing, that the main thing that we are doing, use this cdn link. If it is on click, if it is true, then display the result, otherwise loading the model. The main thing is, because it's an asynchronous process, it obviously takes time, because obviously you are kind of inferencing the Gemma model obviously, so it will take a lot of time. And again, same thing that what I already shared with you. You have to pass some of the parameters with different parameters, and you have to just basically try to enact with it, with the part of like the promise. What is the state of the promise? It's pending. Is it fulfilled or not? You have to check it on the console part if you want in that thing. And if I wanted to make it more better to you, what I can do, let me reshare again. So just give me a moment. Let me share a tab with you. Yeah, this is the link basically. You can test it out. Even though I tried it on my system, it's still basically it's not loading at that what I'm thinking of. If you have a better supported GPU, you can obviously try it out. This is the link basically. This is basically hosted on Google's website, so you can try it out. There's other more studio like MediaPipe Studio. You can obviously try it out on that sense basically. And give me a moment, folks. Let me share one thing more with you to get better understanding around it. So just give you one resource so that it's better for you to understand, I guess. Yeah, so in case if anyone facing any trouble issues, basically I refer this official blog from Google basically. So if you want, you can obviously test it out, like I dropped in the comment section basically. And again, think like a web GPU. It's not a very big thing around that thing. So let me give you a more glance around it. What I can do, let me open my GitHub to get a better understanding around it. Give me a moment, folks. Let me open. So a long time ago, I actually opened an issue on a Google TF Lite project called Axon Pack. What right now I will try to let me share my screen again. So this is some of the old issues that I already created around it, and let me try to find it out. Cool. So basically, a long time ago, like it's I guess 2 to 3 years back, basically, these are some of the function which is basically at that time mod kernel with Bassam and you can say web GPU is not supporting in that point. Why I'm sharing this issue basically. The point is how inference point is working. You have to focus more on the inference points. When I'm saying inference point, what is the meaning of it? When you suppose I don't think so I can share the, let me see, is it visible or not? No, it's not visible, I guess. So I basically, what you have to do around it, what I'm telling you is like open an inspect section basically, and try to basically do same kind of section of code that where we are trying to find what is the GPU pointed. And when you refresh the inference point, what had happened, network, you can go to network tab and you can check how much there's a drop of you can say data point sections. You can find out what is the what GPU power you're using on Chrome apart from the normal CPU power. Why it is important? It's just to get a glimpse of how your function is activated or not. It helps you a lot in more that way. But this is my day. Like I hope so I kind of give you some glimpse around how you can use MediaPipe to it. And thanks, folks. I hope so you got something from my talk. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Katike.
Thanks,
Yes. Question, Victor, please go ahead.
I think we take
Okay,
it.
I sent the message. I sent the question on the chat. So
Yeah,
language will
talking
not.
about yeah, sure. Talking about LLM, can Gemma or Gemini learn a completely new local language? If it can, what is the road? Yeah, you can fine tune. Obviously, you can fine tune on your language. I am hoping Gemma or Gemini, to be specific, they obviously trained on the public data that is available to Google. But you can fine tune on your language. Like I see a lot of folks who are trying to do, like if we talk about my country, Hindi, basically Hindi is a prominent language that is most of the people we speak around it. Obviously we have a very different regional language also, but there's a lot of people, what we try to do, we fine tune that thing with by just giving a small set of prompting around it to get more fine tuned with our specific data set. That's what we call it. To generalize it, we can say transfer learning, but to be more precise, we are go with a method called, I guess Jay also know that zero shot, to make it more better. But I guess that's you can start with fine tuning on your language. You can just pass on that thing. I guess that will be better for you to start with it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. I would have asked for if there is a possible demo or a link to help with that, because one thing about Africa is we need to be able to use this AI to solve our immediate problem, and language is one of our immediate problem, to be able to communicate between ourselves, So
Yeah.
if can help with maybe a link or maybe a roadmap, so we can know what it takes and work toward it, it won't be a bad idea. Because one of my main challenges, how would the data structure be? What will be the data structure be? Are we going to write our language and translate it to English, then provide those data sets for the model to be refined with?
Yeah, what I can say to on the simplest way to this thing, like if I suppose again, I'm taking an example again, if I am saying very wrong, I'm really sorry to that. But suppose in Africa there is English, there is French, and maybe there's another regional language. First of all, when we generally when we say we are learning a machine learning model or any model specific, what the main intention behind it, firstly, there is a regional language grammar which we compare with the English grammar just to get more better understanding with it. Obviously we have to make it more, you can say it, typecasting point on the thing. Like suppose if I talk about India have a lot of languages, Hindi, Gujarati, Marathi, like a lot of things. But what we generally prefer, we try to convert that thing manually with the language part. How, if just to take an example of Google Translator, right? How Google Translator came into space. If we go to China or maybe any other country, we can easily, they have to say just audio format, directly convert that thing into the particular language to it, right? The main point is, because they converted on the same front, what I can prefer to you, first of all, structure in the way there is there's two column you can create for now. Maybe one column is a regional language and second column can be the English translated one, and try to create try to build a model for that specific learning. Otherwise, I guess Jay has a better understanding for me in this thing, because I guess he already building something with Gujarati language, so he can already ping in a more better way. So yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Awesome. You answered my question. Thank you so much. I'll look that up.
Cool. Thanks, Victor. Yeah. Anyone else?
Thank you, Victor. Any question, please? No?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Just say something in the chat.
Yeah. So thank you, Katiki. Thank you very much for your session. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Louis. Thanks, Amel, for inviting me. It's a pleasure to me for talking here. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So now we're moving for our last speaker, Jay.
Hello.
Ah,
Hello. Am I audible?
yes.
Yes.
Great. Just got off. So, yeah, let me share my screen first.
Yes, please go ahead.
Uh, because I have been working around LLMs like as soon as they were launched. Like from 2022, I've been working with them. So, is my screen visible to you guys? I hope. Yeah, it is. Okay. So, hello everyone. I'm Jay. I'll introduce myself on what I do and how I do shortly. But first, let's deep dive into topic what I have chosen. So every now and then, you all guys have a similar questions that how can we connect our data to LLM? Like what to do if my data is not trained? And sometimes even your corporates don't want their data to be trained on LLMs. At that moment, what to do, right? So what we do is we use a algorithm named as a technique, basically, which is RAG, called retrieval augmented generation, in which we store our private data in our private databases, and then and only we give the data to LLM which it requires, not everything. So that's just a gist of what we are going to do, but we'll go deep down. Don't worry about it. I have written some interesting code for you so that you can see for yourself as well. So who am I? I am a research scientist. I work with LLMs. I do a lot of stuffs with LLM, much more of benchmarking, testing them across many different use cases. So I work around with them. I'm also a research intern at Symbiosis. It's in India. It's in Pune, India. I am organizer at TFUG Surat as well, and I have published 3 of my research papers. Third one is on specifically on generative AI and benchmarking. So first of all, what is Gemma? So Gemma is like a smaller version of Gemini that Karthikeya mentioned as well. That Gemma is a smaller version of Gemini. Now, why Gemma is required? That we sometimes want to run inferences on our local host instead of sending an API request to a server. So that's why Gemma was invented, and it is Latin from for precious stone. That's how the name Gemma came into picture. And Gemma has the same model architecture, same research, and same technology used as in Gemini models. So whatever Gemini can do, Gemma can do as well. Now, for all of us will have one question in common, that why to use Gemma if we can say send a simple API request to Gemini via Google AI Studio or Vertex AI. One of the reason is that it has the same model architecture. Second, you can run it on your local servers. So you don't need to have an dedicated inference hosted on your clouds. So it will save you a lot of cost. First, second, it is smaller in size, so you can like test it whenever you want. And third and foremost, and the one which we all need, is our data is not used for training. So anything you do with Gemma, it would be on your local computer and it would be running with you only. So your data is not going anywhere. So another question that we all have, that what Gemma models are available. So there are 2 variants that we have. Is one is 2 billion, second one is 7 billion. There are instruct model for Gemma as well, which we will be using Gemma 7B instruct. We will be using Gemma 1.1, the latest one which has came. And while instruct is a better model when it comes to have a question answer system or chatbot, because it understands context more properly rather than Gemma 2B or 7B. Gemma 2B and 7B are general purpose models. They can be used for hyper tuning for your personal use case. Instruct models are one which you can use without hyper tuning it, and you can just use on the go as you are using Gemini. While this does not mean that normal models does not follows the prompt, they do, but they are not as good as instruct models when it comes to question answer. So let's go to some interesting part. So just in case if anyone wants to follow me what I'm doing, you can go onto this link. You will be redirected to a GitHub page, and just go there and open up the notebook in your local computer. I can explain you as I go. Let me know when you are done. and feel free to ask questions. Feel free to stop me. I don't mind that. Okay. Yeah. Have a look. You can scan QR code as well, or you can take a screenshot of the screen as well if you want to follow it up in future.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is collab. This is connected to my GitHub, so I can do everything here. You can do same as well. So first line, we are installing LangChain. We are using ChromaDB for our vector database. We are using PyPF for extraction of text and sentence transformer for converting into embeddings. Now, what are embeddings? Embeddings are vector representations of the sentences that you use. Why it is required? Computers does not understand hello world or hi, how are you? They understand numbers, they understand vectors. That's why we need to give them vectors to understand and predict the next vector, and then we remap it to what we want. So this is we are importing text splitters and token splitters. This is our ChromaDB. ChromaDB will be used for vector embeddings and embedding functions. We are going to use all mini LMV2. It's a transformer model which will be converting our text to embeddings. This is PDF reader. This will be used to extract our PDF. This is request to send a request to Hugging Face API. This is I guess Victor asked this question that if we don't want to use our API keys, then what to do? So what you can do is just create an environment variable like this in Colab, and if you are using your local computer, create a .env file. There is a Python package named python.env as well. You keep your all the API keys and environment variables in .env file, and you can import it like I have imported it here with a variable name you want, and wherever that environment variable needs to go, it can go there. So HF barrier is going here. So instead of user data.get, in your case in local computer, it will coming os.getEnv. So it will take your env environment variables or API key from there, and wherever it needs to pass, you can pass it like I have passed it here. And this is example PDF. That's an alphabet report for 2023. I just downloaded the random PDF online. So we are going to extract text from this PDF. This is extracting text in list format. This is a list comprehension. This is extracting text into this kind of stuff. So it will extract text, and after that it will be a list. So if you remove 0, it will be entire list. So this would be a long list. That's why I kept 0. So we will be seeing only first part of this list. This will, after that, we separate it into like every time there is a line, there is a double line, we separate it from there, and we remove unwanted stuff. Here there is no bullet. Otherwise, if there was a bullet, it would be going there. It would be removed when it comes when this is executed. And after that, this will separate them into words. Then we again join this, and that's how it is working. So whatever this will return, and this will get joined. And after that, you can see that our first here and first there, you can see what there is a huge difference. So PDF text 0 is this, and our current text is this. So you can see how much stop words and everything has removed. You can see. Oh man. So you can see how much stop words and everything is going away. After that, we tokenize them. So this token Just a second. Yeah. So this will be converted into tokens. So this is still a sentence. After this is converted into token, and you can see you can see that how it is now. So alphabet announces. So you see this A, F, Q, everything is converted into small, and all if there is an ing or liking or like they would be converted into tokens. So all the unwanted data which we do not want to send it to LLM will be removed in this case. There are two reasons of doing this. First, we will save cost in this case. Second, is R and all they will not change the direction of our vectors. That's why we do this, and that's why this is important to do this. So current token size is over 256. So this will have approximately 256 tokens. Now we are going to embed them. So we are initializing our embedding function. What embedding it is? Then we are initializing our ChromaDB client. After that, we are creating a collection. I have created an alphabet annual report. You can keep any name here with respect to what you want to name. And embedding function would be what we are creating. So if you change a variable name here, change variable name here as well. And then we create our vectors. So after that, it will have 40 IDs because our chunks are 32. So chunks are 40, actually 40. There should be 40 chunks. That's why there are 40 IDs here. Here are 32. And if I remove this line, you can see, yeah, see, there are 40 chunks. Here are 32, but after we tokenize them, there are 40 chunks. That's why there will be 40 chunks inserted to our database. And as soon as we insert it into it, it would be converted into embedding. And then we can count them. And this is our RAG query. RAG query is basically what we will send to prompt to first our vector database, what to search for. And whatever it will search, it will return it in retrieved documents. Like this is retrieved documents, and we will be saving, combining the entire retrieved documents with 2 lines in between, and then we send it to LLM. That is what this is doing. So let's see. This is my query. What are cloud services? So first I will send it into query, that what would be my query, and I am asking maximum results would be 1. So whatever is the closest thing here to 1, closest thing here to query would be sent to us. That's why because we have selected 1, it would return only 1. So that's how it will work, and it will be returned under a dictionary, and dictionary will have a key name document, and on that 0th index you can see the text. So it would be having this kind of text information. Google Cloud includes infrastructure and platform services, collaboration, and other enterprise customer. GCP generates blah and blah. This is what here it is. And then we send it to our LLM, this RAG. So our query is this, and our retrieved document is this. This will get joined. This will go to Gemma model, and after that we are sending it to our Hugging Face API request. It will return an output, which is this. Cloud services are not explicitly defined in given text, so I am unable to provide an answer from the provided content. Now, so this means that there is no mention of cloud services. There is mention of something else. So let's see if it is true or not. Multiple operate that are not individually revenues from other parts and healthcare. So see, there is no mention of cloud services. That's why. So if you want to ask any question, just comment it on text box. So I can just show it there, and we can see.
Okay.
A question?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so Jay, thank you very much for your presentation.
I thought someone will have questions.
Yeah,
Okay, no worries.
Thank you very much. So thank you very much. If anyone have a question about this event, please you can ask. No questions? Yes.
Go ahead, Victor.
Victor Asuko, please. Go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. I'm super excited to be here to connect with everybody, starting from the first session to the one we had last. I mean, the sessions were really impactful. So, my name is Victor Jacob Ashuko. I'm passionate about generative AI, large language models, and Google AI. And seriously, I'm very fortunate to be in this meeting to meet Louis, Japheth, Amel, Jay, Katisi, GDG, Abidjan, DGG Cloud, and every other single person here. So, me, myself, alongside with other passionate TensorFlow or people interested in generative AI, we started a group in our local community, and I've been trying out to reach out to Amel and every other single, or let me say every other GDG TensorFlow, TensorFlow user groups out there. So I want to share this opportunity with everybody that we are starting a TensorFlow user group in Uyo in Nigeria, and we would like to connect with every single person as well as other TensorFlow user groups across the world. Okay. So I would like to reach out to TensorFlow lead Abidjan after now.
Okay. I dropped my email address in the chat. You can write me after we can change. That's right.
Thank you, bro. So yeah, thank you. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Feel free to ask me any question. You can help you.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, thank you, Victor.
I think some. Okay. Wait. Jay, I already give us the answer for that.
Sorry, Armin, I didn't got you. Can you please repeat?
I say that I want to say Victor asked a question and you are already give a answer.
Okay.
Yeah. Loïs, je pense qu'il n'y a plus de questions. Voilà.
Yeah, so we are at the end of our event. We want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you to our speakers. Yeah, thank you, Jay. Thank you, Katike. Thank you, Anuradha. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Armel. Thank you, Zikas. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Yes, thank you. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
So
can I get email of speaker? Yeah. Maybe Louis will give you the email after.
Yes, I will send you, Victor. Yeah. So we hope Yeah, Jay sent his email on the chat, so please feel free to speak with
connect.
him. Yeah.
Connect.
Yeah.
I got his
So,
LinkedIn.
yeah. Thank you very much, and we hope next time we will all get you in another session, another event. Amaya, have you something to say?
No, thank you everyone. Thank you, Katike. Maybe we'll see in the next summit, ML summit.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jay. Maybe we'll also see you in the next summit, ML summit. Yeah, CDB ask when will the next episode happen? I think we go to the 4th May. You have a Breed with AI. Yeah, that is the link in the chat. Join us to talk about Breed with AI. Thank you very much, Victor. Thank you, everyone, and keep touch, and feel free to connect to get to build a networking with GDU, with TensorFlow user group leads, and maybe if you have a question, don't feel free to send email to 10 TFUG, Bassam TFUG, Abidjan, GTG Cloud, Abidjan by email. That is my email in the chat. You have some resources to reach us, and don't hesitate to ask any question about maybe community, or maybe AI like Gemini, Gemma, something like that. Okay, so thank you very much, and goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.